Hi there, warm welcome to the High Tech Business Channel. In this opportunity, we're going to be reviewing the complete account plan. In our previous video, we saw an executive summary of an account plan, which was a one-pager or two-pager stop, where you represent most of the significant and relevant information in just a couple of pages for alignment purposes, for sharing information with the stakeholders, and so on and so forth. In this case, we're going to review the complete account plan. That you only do that when you're trying to really put together information for an account or for a client of yours that is relevant and that deserve, because of the size of the business and the complexity, a more complete documentation process. And what is it? What is an account plan? It's a business compass. It also works for internal purposes. That is to say, if you want to really do a new strategy of expansion, let's say, of your business, because you're going hand in hand with a client and you want to expand the services with the client in different territory, regions, or you want to do something new, that's also part of what an account plan is. But also when you want to represent an internal client. So it helps for all of those purposes, and it's a strategic roadmap as to where you want to go. What can you find typically in an account plan? An account plan, you will definitely have to include the summary, but also different strategic elements related to marketing, the total available market that we saw in some previous video, the addressable market, and so on. Also, you want to put a lot of details regarding the financials, historical background of the business. You want to have that information too. You also want to have a roadmap of relationships. That is to say, who's going to meet with whom, by when, and with what purposes, and so on and so forth. What are the strategic initiatives? What are the financials, like I said before, but with some twists if you are really providing additional financial services to the client, and so you have legal information, and so on and so forth. So you have to really look into it, and in an account plan you will find very much relevant, detailed information. Let me give you a couple of examples first of internal business plans and how those transform complete large companies. And then we will see one business case, very, very complex, that I think will highlight why it is so relevant to have the account plan, especially when you are doing when you are dealing with strategic clients. So the first thing that I wanted to share is about Lou Gerstner. Well, he took office. IBM back in 1993 was in really financial troubles. They had lost like $1 billion in net income. And he took office and he decided to transform the company because he realized that selling hardware, product-centric company was not going to make it. And he transformed the company. It took him 7 years to transform the whole company. But within the next few months after he took office, that he changed the company, the numbers turned around and became positive net income. Within the next few years, as I said, the company started growing and growing and growing. What did he do? Well, he changed from a product-centric to a client-centric type of company. And in order to do that, he moved away from the hardware product-centric type of a company into a company dedicated to services and software. So they became top system integrators in the world, and they became also a strategic company with regard to the artificial intelligence, with the Watson solution that you can use those services, and so on and so forth. So he did a big transformation. One thing that I would recommend, if you have not already, is to look for Who Says Elephants Can Dance book that he wrote, where he clearly explained that even though IBM was a large company, they did dance and with a lot of agility and so on and so forth. So, and he explained all of those details that he had to undertake, the cost cutting that he had to do, the strategic. But everybody in that company knew exactly where they were going because he did a very nice account plan work. Another big giant that is something similar is Microsoft. When Satya Nadella took office back in just a few years ago, in 2014, the company was in really trouble. The company was losing a lot of clients, losing a lot of momentum, and they had a year-over-year net income loss of minus 38% year-over-year. Okay. When he took office, he decided to change the company from a software product centric, so sometimes it's not only hardware but also software product centric company, into a cloud and artificial intelligence company. And then he moved in everything to the cloud. And now they became a company that right now has a net income of about $70-something billion. So just imagine the huge transformation that happened to Microsoft. And that was because they moved from a product-centric to a client-centric company. So those are those examples of account plans, internal account plans. Now let's look this business case, this situation, which is really relevant, and in my previous video about executive summary, I highlighted to you that this red circle here represented in that company something that we wanted to call the attention to. You see, what we did was that we put together a complete account plan for this client of ours that we had. And so we have every single detail. We have a relationship map, who had to meet with whom and by when. We had all the channels that we wanted to engage to deal with the client. We had the different territory, technology, everything. And in that company, we had some, let's say, sales in the amount of 1x. At that same point in time, the company that I was working for decided to acquire a technology company who by casualty had the same client that we did the account plan to. And when they acquired that company, the numbers, the revenue that was the forecast for revenue that was projected was like 5x, because this company would sell much more than what we were selling to that company. And the company that I worked for acquired this company because they had some technology that would fit nicely into their strategic technical roadmap, right? So it was like a nice fit, both companies working together. But as we delve into the details of the account plans with the new acquisition, we started to find some issues, some problems that were related to the forecast. The numbers were not matching. You see, this red circle, what it was saying is that we were encountering issues regarding the projection of the forecast. So we had a 32% off in Latin America and 13% off in the US of projected forecast. That was just the first approach. When we encountered that, we said, we have a lot of problems here, so we better address those problems with a more in-detail analysis of what's happening here. Because we just acquired a company, the authorities of that company that was acquired had a high position, because they tried to maintain the same position that they had originally, and so on and so forth. So what is it that we do? So we had to meet with the client. We went into all the financials, and we discovered that prior to the acquisition, basically in the same time, the company that was acquired had done a fire sale to this client, and they had overstocked the client for 7 months. And that overstock will represent that our forecast for the next 2 years at least was going to be impacted. So we analyze in each territory, as you see, we circle, and we presented this same analysis with more detail, obviously, to the stakeholders and to the high authorities of the company. And we push back on the forecast. We say we will not be able to make this because this is already something that happened in the past. And so the client is not going to overstock themselves again just because, they just did it, right? So we push back. The company that I work for cover us and say, okay, we'll eliminate that. And they had to take some additional steps from the management point of view to address this kind of situation. But what I wanted you to keep in mind, if it wasn't because we have this, thanks to the account plan and the details that we had in the same, that you can unveil these situations and you can really push back with the right information, and most likely the company will accompany you either to grow the business or to stop it or to make the necessary adjustments. And by the way, this happened many times with account plans that at least I was part of. Then, so what are the takeaways? The account plan is a living document. It's a business compass. It's something that you need to have in detail when it applies, depending on the complexity of your client or the business that you want to carry on. And then details matter. The devil is in the detail. So work those details. I've been presenting several tools that you can utilize to go into those details, and so you have your machinery, your operation machinery functioning properly. In the next video, which is kind of related to this one in a way, we're gonna look into the Finance 101. Let's put that name there, sorry. And I think you're gonna like it because I'm going to introduce a couple of tools, which is the WACC and the internal rate of revenue, to analyze opportunities to position your products and services. And you will see business cases, real cases, where we did utilize those tools and the client acquired the technology from us. So if this is all for now, I hope to see you in the next video. And if you like this video and this type of videos, just ring the bell and subscribe. So I see you in the next video in Finance 101.